For most of us rail fans, our outings don't really have a set goal in mind. It's pretty much just go out and see what you can find. But there are those times that you do have a set goal in mind that can consist of many different things. For me, on June 21st, 2023, I had a set goal for the day of chasing a B631-19 down a portion of the CSX Etowah and W&A Subdivisions. B631 is an as-needed run of ethanol loads out of Bentonville, Illinois off the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railroad down to the Hookers Point Terminal in Tampa, Florida. Now these 631s almost always have foreign power, and this one being one of them, which is the reason why we're out today. 631's lead motors would be a Union Pacific GEVO and a Canadian Pacific AC 4400. We would get word that 631 was scheduled to depart Etowah, Tennessee at 10:35 a.m., which is the northernmost point of the Etowah subdivision, so we would get as far north as we could before stopping at our first location just to the south of Ramhurst, Georgia at 11:15 a.m., and we knew it wouldn't take them very long to get down here. And exactly 45 minutes later, at 12 p.m. on the dot, B631 would round the corner just to the north of us, and our chase would begin. We would leave our first spot about halfway through the train to catch back up to him at Oakman for a few pacing shots. We've gotten back ahead of the 631, but just barely as we pull into the outskirts of downtown Fairmount at Gordon Street, where he flies by at track speed. With slow speed limits through downtown Fairmount, we would fall all the way behind B631, and I thought it was going to be a struggle to catch back up to him. But luckily, they would run into a signal problem at the south end of Bolivar Siding, which would make them stop, so that meant we were able to get back ahead of them to the 410-mile post at Vaughan Dairy Road in Rydell, Georgia. And something to point out here at this crossing is the kudzu in the foreground. I came here about a month and a half prior, and the track that runs behind the kudzu was perfectly visible, and now you can't even see it unless you go up to the crossing. And that's how you know it's summer, when the kudzu is almost as tall as you are. But anyways, B631 would round the corner at restricted speed, as the signal problem was still in effect for them. For those of you who are wondering how much shorter the kudzu was the last time I was out here before this trip, here's a clip from back on May 7th of the last train that I saw here, which is actually another ethanol train, this one being northbound B820. Alright, now back to B631. We would move down to the 417 milepost where B631 would still be moving at a restricted speed, as I guess the signal problem was still in effect, which made no sense as the signal at Wyvern was a high green for him. With 631 going 10 miles an hour or less from Rydal to here, it would take him over 30 minutes to go 7 miles. Just to the north of Wyvern here, we'd be able to see the full train go by for the first time today. And something that I didn't mention earlier was that B631 had a rear train DPU. I just didn't say anything about it as we hadn't seen it yet. That rear train DPU would be Canadian Pacific GEVO number 8827, which you'll see in just a second. B631 would get back up to speed, so we would head south to Emerson to get one last shot of him. Pulling into Emerson, we'd only have a few minutes to spare as B631 had already cleared Cartersville, but with the combination of a steady uphill grade and a loaded ethanol train, 631 would slow down again, but would be doing every bit of notch 8 to get here at Emerson. This was one of the first times that I had chased a train for multiple hours, and all I can say is that this was a success, which makes me think I should start doing this more in the future. And I thank y'all for coming along with me as we chase B631 through the backwoods of northern Georgia. But until next time, this is Georgia Rail Production saying so long from milepost 43.1 along the CSX W&A Subdivision.